Hi, I'm Tony Iacono, President for County College of Morris, and I want to thank you for supporting our students and supporting our college. The Flavor of Giving is a fabulous way to support our students. Over the past 20 years, the CCM Foundation has provided more than $5 million in financial aid support to students with great dreams who want to have wonderful futures. CCM, for so many students, is the gateway that allows that. I also want to thank Harvest Restaurants for partnering with us. They're a wonderful, wonderful entity throughout our communities. I've enjoyed them many times myself, and without them, this would not be possible. CCM is all about the community. We are, as we often say, the community's college. But we couldn't be the community college without you and without great supporters like Harvest. So again, thank you. I hope you enjoy this wonderful event. And when it's safe to do so, I hope to see you back on our campus and at our events.
Good evening. I'm Katie Olsen, Executive Director of the County College of Morris Foundation. Welcome to this virtual celebration, Flavor of Giving. So normally this time of year, you're dressed in black tie for our annual gala, but due to that worldwide pandemic, you're joining us tonight virtually. Many of you were on campus this afternoon picking up your dinners. Campus is so beautiful this time of year, and I know some of you are going home tonight to have a wine night along with your dinner and friends. Others are pulling out your wedding china and setting up beautiful decor to celebrate with your family. Whatever you've decided to do to make this a special night for you, your family, and friends, enjoy it. However we choose to celebrate, the sentiment is still the same. Each of you is here to support County College of Morris students through the CCM Foundation. In the past 20 years, the foundation has given out $5 million in scholarships to 4,000 students. And it's because of each of you and your support of these students on their educational journey. A huge shout out to each of this event's sponsors who supported us once again this year. In the program, you'll have an opportunity to meet an alumna, Andrea Alfonso, who benefited from support like this. Andrea is a true success story who was able to achieve her goals with the help of the CCM Foundation and donors like you. Also, a special thank you to Harvest Restaurant Group head chef Bill Hendra for working with Colleen McArdle and our event staff, putting together this fun, unique dining experience for each of you to enjoy in support of our students. Thank you once again for your support and enjoy the rest of the program and your dinner. Have fun.
Greetings, I'm Bette Simmons, the Vice President of Student Development and Enrollment Management. I can't tell you how grateful we are for your participation in our Flavor of Giving Foundation event. The number of students who will be benefiting from your generosity is astronomical. However, it's important for you to know that we have had an increase in students who are in need, and as a result of that, we created our Titans Table 2 years ago, and this event, the Titans Emergency Fund, will benefit. This will allow us to give the more than 33% of our students who are missing out on a good meal, a safe home, and a warm bed the opportunity to get that. So thank you very much, and we hope you all stay safe.
Good evening, Board of Trustees, President Dr. Iacono, and all attendees. My name is Andrea Alfonso, and I am so honored to have the opportunity to speak to you all tonight. I am a proud County College of Morris alumna. I started at CCM in fall of 2016 after graduating from Parsippany Hills High School in the top 15% of the class, qualifying me to become an NJ Star student. After 2 years at CCM, I graduated in May of 2018 with 2 associate degrees, one in engineering science and another in biology. After attending CCM, I transferred to Cornell University, studied in the College of Engineering, and just graduated this past December with a Bachelor of Science in Biological Engineering. Next month, I will be starting a research position at the National Institutes of Health, specifically the National Institute of Biomedical Imaging and Bioengineering, as I apply to MD-PhD programs in the hopes of becoming a physician scientist. My end goal is to work as a clinical researcher, translating my discoveries in the lab to patients directly, specifically bringing focus to bringing better care to underrepresented communities and becoming a contributor to the field of medical research that affects low-income areas. I hope to prove to my parents that all the struggles they went through when moving us to the United States from Colombia were well worth it. Throughout my life, I hope to grow as a person through knowledge and wisdom. This will be accomplished through education, career, and experiences with helping others along the way. I would not be as close to this goal as I am today if it was not for individuals just as yourselves. As a Colombian immigrant who came to America at a very young age, how I was going to finance my education was something I had to think deeply about, and honestly, it was worrisome. Although I was accepted into four-year institutions my senior year of high school, after much consideration, I decided to attend CCM. I will say I was initially hesitant at the decision, mainly because of the false stigma surrounding community colleges that was being advertised by people who did not truly know what CCM had to offer. Fortunately, however, because of the great experiences both my brother and sister had at CCM as NJ Star students before me, I ultimately became okay with how I was going to start my path towards higher education. In the end, the education at CCM aided in molding me into a very competitive student, and based on the financial stability the decision allowed me to have, I know that attending CCM was the best decision I could have ever possibly made. As an NJ Star student, I was able to attend CCM on full tuition, although some of the extra fees associated with classes were not covered. Thanks to you all and the CCM Foundation, however, I did not have to worry about these extra expenses and instead was able to focus on doing well in my classes and prepare for my future ahead. I was fortunate enough to learn about the CCM Foundation very early on, since I was awarded the CCM Foundation Freshman Scholarship the fall I entered. After my first year, I was then awarded the Donaldine Malenga Engineering and the Morris County Women's Republican Club scholarships. Finally, my last spring semester at CCM, spring of 2018, I was awarded the Board of Trustees Service Award and the New Eisinger Scholarship. These awards went on to fully support me for my first semester at Cornell University, leaving me with only a small fraction of the debt and loans that most inherit from obtaining a bachelor's degree. I therefore want to thank you all for believing in education and deciding to support the futures of countless promising students who attend CCM every year. Each donation made is truly life-changing to the students who receive it, and I know this because I know it was for me. Although you will not always have the opportunity to meet the students who receive the scholarships, please know that we all appreciate you and thank you for having the kindness in your heart to care for others. Especially during these trying times, more and more students are finding it difficult to maintain themselves and their education, so thank you for continuing the support. I vow to one day be in all of your shoes, supporting students and making their dreams that much more of a reality, just as you all did for me. Thank you so much.
Hello, I'm Bill Hendra from Harvest Catering and Events. Welcome. This is our kitchen down in Rocky Hill, New Jersey, and today we're going to prepare some meals that you'll be enjoying. First thing we're going to do is we're going to cook off our salmon, which is Jail Island salmon. Here it is. Jail Island, which is located on the Bay of Fundy, which is right between Nova Scotia and New Brunswick off the coast of Canada. The deal about Jail Island is that they have a special program, and they're first ones to ever do this, where they have a conservation program called the Fundy Island Salmon Recovery Program, where they take some proceeds from the sale of their salmon, and then they build this complex where they go out and they take salmon that are in early stages of life, and they bring them in a safe, controlled environment and raise them until they're ready to go out and spawn out in the wild. We've been using them from Samuels and Sons for a while, and today being Earth Day, it's a sustainable salmon. So we'll start with that. First thing we'll do is season it. Get our pan nice and hot. One note about seasoning the salmon is to season it heavier on the presentation side. The presentation side of the salmon is actually the inside of the salmon where it's going along the bone structure, not on the skin side. So you season heavier in that side because when you season with salt, it brings out the proteins to the surface and it caramelizes easier. At this point, I'm put it in the oven for about 5 or 6 minutes. So the asparagus is originally blanched with salt in hot water for about 2 or 3 minutes, then taken out of the hot water and then grilled after that. 3 or 4 minutes, just olive oil, salt, and pepper. More flavor, caramelization, texture. So you can see the salmon is cooked fairly like medium-ish, medium rare, medium is what we want. And now we're going to glaze it with our soy honey glaze, which is soy sauce, local honey, ginger, pineapple juice, and dark brown sugar reduced down. We'll get back in the oven to get a little, just to set the glaze on top of the fish. All right, so we're gonna plate now with our components for the dish. The first component we're going to plate is Jasmine Rice, which is a fragrant rice that comes from Thailand. It's a sticky rice, a fluffy rice. It's easier to plate if the spoon is a little bit wet. So I dipped in some water. Next, we're gonna put a stripe of our soy glaze. We grab our asparagus off the grill. We chose asparagus because asparagus is in season. Actually, we're getting our first crops right now, and today, being Earth Day, it's great to buy local and celebrate our farmers. There's our salmon. Our grilled asparagus. Some crispy wontons for some texture, and some thinly sliced scallions on top of the jasmine rice. There we go. So next up, we're going to prepare our Cabernet braised short ribs. So our short ribs that we're using today are boneless short ribs. So we've taken the bone off, we've trimmed them. They're prime grade, which is great because you can tell by the marbling of the fat what the quality of meat is, especially for a braise. It's unusual. But what's great about that is all that fat's going to melt and tenderize as we're braising these, which take about 4 hours to braise. And when they're done, they're super tender. If you eat them the way they are now and just sear them, they'd be very tough. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna season them heavily. So we just roll them around in the spot where just the salt and pepper on the tray. Okay, we're gonna heat up our pan and put a little bit of oil, canola oil in. By seasoning them heavily also, you bring all the proteins to the surface, which will help caramelize the meat and add a lot of flavor to the braise. When the pan reaches a slight smoking point, that's where we're going to add our meat. While our meat is searing, we're going to go over the mise en place for the rest of the braise. So after the meat is seared, we're going to caramelize our mirepoix of onions, carrots, and celery. We're also going to add in a garlic clove, half a garlic clove, some tomato paste, some fresh thyme, and bay leaf. After that's going, we're going to add some red wine and reduce that down, and also some dark veal stock. These guys are just about done. I'm going to put my half a garlic clove in to impart some of that flavor into the meat. Now we'll take our short ribs out of the pan and put them on the side. Lower our flame a touch. And we'll start to add our mirepoix. I'm also going to add some salt, which will help the vegetables break down as we're cooking. Put a top on this to help it steam as it's breaking down and caramelizing. We have some good color to our vegetables, our mirepoix. We're going to add some tomato paste, which will add some body to the sauce of the braise. Mix that in with our vegetables to cook out the tomato paste a little bit, bring out some of the sugars, take away some of the tartness. And then we'll add some thyme because a braise takes a long time, and some bay leaf. Now we'll add our red wine. And we'll reduce the red wine by half. After the red wine is reduced by half, we're going to add in our veal stock, our brown veal stock. The brown veal stock, you can tell, has a nice gelatinous quality to it, which will lead to a nice thick braise by the time it's all done. As we bring this back up to a simmer, we'll add our meat back in. And our garlic clove. We'll add a little bit more salt and pepper. Then we'll cover it and put it in a 225 oven for about 4 hours until it's tender enough to put a fork through it and have the fork slip straight out. Take our short rib out of the oven after about 4 hours. And we're going to check to make sure it's tender. We're putting a fork through it. You see how the fork slips right out of it without fighting. We're going to take our short ribs out for a moment, and then we're going to strain our sauce. We turn our sauce back to the pan where we're going to reduce it. With the sauce reducing, we're pulling it halfway off the fire, so as it's bubbling from the back, it's pushing all the fat to the front, and then we'll skim that. We're at this point, we add the short ribs back into the liquid. Turn it down. Space with the glaze. Okay, so for plating today we have maitake mushrooms, which are hen of the woods mushrooms, also known as that. And in Japanese it means dancing mushroom, maitake. And we have some whipped Yukon Gold potatoes. Potatoes just cooked in cold water and salt until they're tender. And then we rice them, mix them with butter and cream. And we pass them so they're super fine. And then we have some baby kale as a garnish to add a little texture, a little bite to it, a little extra virgin olive oil on that to bring it around a little fruitiness. And chimichurri, which is an Argentinian uncooked sauce with parsley, cilantro, oregano, garlic, shallots, red wine, extra virgin olive oil, and some chili flake. Let's done our mashed potatoes first. We'll put our short ribs sort of against the mashed potato, like that. Some extra virgin olive oil and salt. Salt, pepper, and the baby kale. Just mix it up. I'll put that between the potato and the short rib. Dip our maitake mushroom. We saute these off nice and golden brown in some butter. Try to add a nice nuttiness to them. And then we'll add our chimichurri. And that's our short rib.
Hello everybody, Bill McElroy here from CCM Foundation. Welcome to our Flavor of Giving dinner. I just want to say what a difficult year it's been, and it's for us no different in the foundation. We haven't been able to do the usual things that we do for all of our constituents. So the team came up with something new and exciting tonight, and this might be the best program that we've ever had. I'd also like to offer a shout out to our friends at the Harvest Restaurant and Catering Group, Andy Silverstein and his crew, Chef Bill and Mark were with us tonight to get this thing done for you. We really appreciate you coming. And I'd just like to offer one personal note to say thanks to somebody who couldn't be here with us tonight, our dear friend Tom Pepe, who left us this past month. We'll miss him terribly. And I promise you, Tom, I know you're listening, that there'll always be a spot at the table for you at CCM. Thanks so much. Enjoy. Thanks for your support and your generosity. And bon appetit, everybody.